packaging. We've spoken a lot on the channel about how you can reuse something or recycle it and how we can make the most of the materials that we already have. But what if something simply isn't designed with the end of its life in mind? Today we're at the Museum of Brands, Packaging and Advertising to find out a little bit more about the design that goes into all the stuff that we buy every day. To borrow a phrase from a designer called Tim Brown, our modern industrial economy is based on designing stuff in a straight line. So the line starts when we dig something out of the ground, and then we turn it into something that's valuable to us, and then at the end of the line, it's fulfilled its purpose, it becomes trash, and we throw it away. But as more and more people have started realising that we can't keep just throwing stuff away forever, people have been thinking about how we can turn that line into a circle. So how we can reuse the packaging, recycle it, or in the case of M&S's avocados, get rid of the packaging completely. So I'm here with Sarah, who is one of the designers here at Hubbub, to get a bit of a bigger picture view of the design stuff that we've been talking about. Because I'm not a designer, I don't know much about it, so I think it's important to talk to designers, and I'm really interested in why you decided to get into design in the first place.
Yeah, I saw that everything around us in our modern life is designed, and saw that designers had a lot of power. They could change things and shape things, and I wanted in on that. This makes me sound power hungry.
Yeah, okay, power mad.
But yeah, I wanted a chance to shape the world.
When you come to design something, what are the first things that you think about as a designer?
So I always be thinking about the person who's going to have to use the design, who's going to interact with it, what are they expecting, what are their needs and wants, and how will this product improve their, I'm going to say life now, it sounds big, how will it improve their day?
So how important is sustainability when it comes to design?
I think it's incredibly important if we're thinking that designers touch everything and the scale at which packaging is being produced. If we can make just tiny savings in the design of resources, that's going to have a massive impact. But it's totally not a silver bullet. It's not just designers, you know. You can have something that's wonderfully designed, but if no one recycles it, then it's still going to go to waste. So it really takes the customers and also the brands as well. If customers start demanding recyclable and sustainable packaging, then brands will listen and they'll do it. So yeah, everyone in it together.
We've got power. Thank you so much for speaking to us. We need to find out a little bit more about this issue, so we're going to go speak to some more designers, some design students and some agencies. Come with us.
One of the first things I think about is how well it will fulfill the need that it's supposed to fulfill. That's usually my starting point.
I think the kind of problems we try to solve really sort of depends on like what the brief is, who's setting it, who it's for. I think the role of designers is to like provide an opportunity for people to get into like sustainability and that. Like some people might be interested, but if there are no like sustainably designed products out there, then how are they going to like make a difference? It's going to shift in like the next few years, I think. I think the shift will be from trying to clean the mess that we've made already and the waste that we have to just stopping all the waste getting in there so we can reduce the tasks that we have in the future.
Circularity is becoming a really important and growing part of how we think about everything, I think, nowadays. And it's helpful because it's quite a simple concept. I think most people can get what circular is all about. It's about keeping things in a loop, about things going round and round a number of times, getting more from less, not wasting things. And all of those are really quite intuitive ideas. One of the things we need to think about, particularly in food and drink areas, there's a massive cost in food that's wasted at the moment, and packaging has a really important role to play in making sure that food doesn't get wasted. So we have to think about what packaging can do to help with all of that, but we also have to think about how we avoid packaging waste. So overall, if you take a lot of waste out of a system, it should, in the long term, save money, of course, as well as save negative environmental impact. It takes quite a long time for these things to happen because there aren't any immediate one-size-fits-all technical solutions. You know, there are a lot of different things which have to be tried, but there's certainly, I feel, a sense of momentum now that we've got a direction. Everybody's going to be involved in sort of playing a part in that, and I think we will see some significant change over the next few years.
So I've worked on improving the environmental performance of everything from a sausage roll right the way through to vacuum cleaners and computers. So at Brunel we do something I think is quite important in education. We try and teach designers that it's not just about the discipline, industrial engineering, interior, etc. It's not just about the artifact, but it's the process, the verb to design. how you get ideas, how you get insights, and how you bring them into something, you configure it, make it, etc. And then what happens to it end of life. We try and get them to be systems thinkers, and many designers are. They can deal with ambiguity quite well, they can synthesize and bring disparate things together and configure something that ultimately turns into something that's great. And one of those things that makes it great is its environmental credentials. So there's two sides to this whole sustainability argument. How engaged are companies, and also how engaged are consumers. Now, there's a tendency for us to talk to people who think like we do, so they think everyone cares about the environment. But most industry does. They have to through legislation anyway, but on the whole, they want to do the right thing. And as the market's shifting, they have to give extra attention to what the sustainability metrics that might appeal to their customers are and reflect those in the products and services they sell. So it's a very complex thing that has to be worked in and targeted well. Now, as a population, I presume a lot of people care about the environment. But actually, if you look across the whole of the UK population, there's 7 different behaviour types. And they behave differently under different things, from food waste or flying less or whatever it might be, or recycling. And that's another really important function of design. You can actually change the way people behave and engage with products to influence that behaviour to be more environmentally friendly.
So from talking to the designers, there's a couple of things that we can do to support sustainable design. The first thing is to try and buy something that looks like it's kind of all one material. A good example of that is an aluminium can. The second thing that we can all do is when a brand brings out something like a reusable pack or a more sustainable kind of packaging, is to buy it, or at least write to them or show them some love on social media so that they're convinced to carry on doing things sustainably. So it's really clear that we need to start thinking about the end of life of something when we're designing it. If you've seen any really clever tricks that means that things that you buy can last for longer, then let me know in the comments, and I will see you all next time.